everyone, I'm Nicole and today I am going to finally film a TBR game video. Let's do this. So in one of my videos, I think one of my last videos last year, I mentioned the idea of doing a TBR game. This has looked different. I came up with the idea of maybe doing a board game, but as you can see that maybe looks a little bit complicated, and so I took the essence of it and I put it in a different format, which I hope makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, I figure I'll start this in April. It's spring, hopefully, I think, so like renewal and freshness, and I'm usually somebody who loves autumn, winter, but I'm so looking forward to spring and just having that hopefully feeling of newness, I guess, like a fresh start. So let me explain the game. So it's called Beat the Book Trope TBR. So basically at the moment I have 5 different tropes. I probably might come up with more. Part of me wants to do this as like a year thing and see how many tropes I can defeat within a year. I don't know whether I want to do them all at once or whether to try and like defeat them one at a time. That was my original idea, but we are in April, so but yeah, I imagine I would come up with more tropes basically. But just to give you an idea, trope 1, for example, is insta-love, romanticised abuse and love triangles galore. Defeat these tropes by reading a slow burn romance, own person outside of the relationship, friends to lovers, rivals to friends to lovers, and forbidden romance. So obviously all tropes are a personal preference. Some people love romance, other people some people love triangles, other people hate them. I am in the category of I really don't like them. I get really frustrated by them, and unless it feels authentic, I'm not into it. So I've put in things which defeat, like insta love, a slow burn romance, for example. I think friends to lovers or rivals to friends to lovers, or especially friends to lovers, it's like I feel like you'd have more of like a healthy relationship. Own person outside of the relationship just means like they don't forget about their friends when they get into a relationship. So yeah, that's an example. But yeah, I think because I've told you trope 1, I'm just going to go with that for now, and then next month I might, if I haven't defeated all of it, it might have to roll over, or I could decide actually I want to have all the options out there at once, or I could decide to do like a dice roll or a random number generator. But for now we're going with trope 1. So these are the tropes that I have to try and defeat this month. I kind of want to open this up now because that leaves me limited to romance contemporaries potentially. But that is not all. Like, did you think that was it? No. So what else do we have? Well, I'll tell you. Second of all, we have 5 rolls of a coloured dice. They sent me a bunch. I only needed 1, but at least now I have spares for when I inevitably lose one. As you can see, we have a different coloured dice which corresponds to these. So I have 5 rolls on the dice which corresponds to my prompts, which are written in here. Again, they're not full, but I'm always coming up with some, so hey, if you have any suggestions, let me know. They can be as basic as you need to read a crime book to something like the main character has just been introduced to a brand new world and suddenly they're an expert in everything. Read a book where a character is introduced to a brand new world and they have a realistic introduction. See, these are hard as well because I have to know about books before going into them. So some of them might take some research on my part, but we're going to go with it anyway. Okay, so the first roll for the colour is... oh, it's just not coming. This is why we have spares, because I have no idea where that went. Okay, first roll. Yellow. Oh. First roll was yellow. Was this where it was? I hope so. Okay, so the first one that we rolled was yellow, and the first prompt in the stack is: they let out a breath they didn't know they were holding. Read a book about a confident female character. This doesn't mean she's unsure of herself or doesn't have anxiety, but she knows her worth. Okay, I didn't think these through. After some research, I've come up with two options. One of them is The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. I really want to read this one, but as I say, I am struggling mentally at the moment, and so this might be a little bit ambitious. But another one that came up was The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. This one came up on a couple of lists actually for books which feature strong female characters. I don't know much about the story, if I'm being completely honest with you, but it's one that I've wanted to read for a while, so I think this is the one that I'm going to be reading. The second roll, they keep rolling out of shots, so I kind of have to move them back, but I swear they are the right colour. Red. The second roll was red, but for me on the dice, red is orange. And the prompt for this one, so simple. A non-fiction book. Simple is good every once in a while. I think the great thing for me as well about non-fiction is that I normally listen to non-fiction as an audiobook. So I could read like Talking to Psychopaths or Ted Bundy or something. But yeah, I do tend to read non-fiction as audiobooks. I just prefer it. In the spirit of wanting to help myself. It's no good angle on this. I am going to read, can I get it in the circle? There we go. Cognitive Behavioural Therapy. I think that's one that I'm going to read. Like I say, I would like to read one of these because, well, they're on my shelf. They wouldn't be on my shelf if I didn't want to read them, but I want to read something that's going to help me. So let's do that. The third roll, pink. The third roll was pink, and for this one we have You're Not Like Other Girls. Read a book about women supporting each other. Okay, the book that I am going with, which I bought years ago and still haven't read, is Moxie. This is by Jennifer Matthew. I don't know, again, much about this. I don't tend to like going into books knowing a lot of things, but what I do know about this book is that I'm pretty sure it is about women coming together, and I swear I read the word revolution. So I think that counts. I'm forgetting what books I actually own. I'm going through them. I'm like, oh yeah, I totally forgot I owned that. That's really bad. I might need to do one of those like every unread book I own or something, but that's calling myself out, I think. Like these, there's like four shelves, I think, and they go 3 rows deep, so let's move on. Fourth roll, purple. The next colour we rolled was purple. I shouldn't have put all the long ones at the front. This one says, the good and the bad are defined by their looks rather than their character. Read a book where the person who looks like the bad guy is actually the good guy, or at least the decent guy, e.g. Of Mice and Men and Frankenstein. Yeah, I read Frankenstein last year for the first time, and it was so good, but I felt so awful for Frankenstein. Like, it's not what I thought it would be at all. Like, people say Frankenstein, or you hear I haven't actually watched Frankenstein movies, but it's all like, big scary monster, kind of thing. And you think, oh, horror is going to be scary, but I guess it's like, I don't know whether it's sci-fi horror. I can imagine it being like horrifying potentially at the time, because like, was there much else out like Frankenstein at the time? But yeah, I just felt so awful for him, and it just wasn't what I was expecting at all. So yeah, now I need to find a book. Okay, so I technically have no idea if this book actually fits. I looked for a while and this was the only book which came up that I had. I don't think it's what I meant with the prompt, but it's The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. All I know about this book is that it has an unreliable narrator, which is what's making me think that Google tried and gave like web pages and Reddit threads and all that fun stuff. It tried, but I don't know if this is exactly what I'm looking for. I'm gonna read it because I've had this for such a long time and I really would like to read it. I hope that it does what I need it to, but I really don't know at this point. But yeah, this is the one that I'm reading. If you have any recommendations for any of these actually, and if you're like, Nicole, that really doesn't fit, let me know. Then fifth roll, yellow again. And for the last roll, we went back to yellow, and the next one up for that is detective fiction. For this one, I want to go with A Study in Charlotte. So this follows, I believe, Sherlock Holmes's granddaughter. Oh, sorry. Great granddaughter. There we go. So, and Sherlock Holmes was a detective, and I believe, considering it's called A Study in Charlotte, that maybe Charlotte takes after her grandfather in great great grandfather in some way. So yeah, this is the book that I'm going to be reading for that prompt. So now, you're like, Nicole, we have, where'd it go? You have your overall tropes. I'm gonna open this up because I've just realised I don't think I'm gonna get any of these. I'm gonna try it for a month, and if I don't get any of them because of obviously my other prompts, I'm gonna open it up and we're gonna do it that way. But anyway, I'm sure at this point in the video you're like, Nicole, you have your trope, you have your prompts, surely that's the end. To which I say, you underestimate me. So each month I'm going to pick 2 out of 3. This time I might pick 3 out of 3 just to give an idea and also like torture myself apparently. They are Up the Ante, Take a Chance on Me, and Challenge Yourself. So Challenge Yourself is a video concept idea like based around books. Some of them are probably some that I've seen around, others I might have come up with on my own. That's unlikely. Am I that creative? But yeah, just stuff that I guess I've seen around. I'm like, oh, that's actually a really fun idea. I'd like to do that. That's Challenge Yourself. So that's potentially a completely separate TBR outside of this one. Then we have Take a Chance on Me. These are books that I have had on my shelf for years and I just haven't read, haven't picked up. Am I that excited about them anymore? I don't know, but they're here. And we have a stack of random books which are like, Nicole, just take a chance on me, okay? Just take a chance. Just take that leap of faith, open me up and just see what I have to offer. That's these. And then we have Up the Ante. So this could be anything from finish a current series to read a favourite childhood series to read an entire owned series. There's a lot of series with these ones, or like read the longest book on your TBR, or just stuff which is just like, oh god. Okay, this could throw everything out of whack basically. So first let's go with Take a Chance on Me. Okay, so I'm actually really scared. I cannot remember what I have on here and I'm actually a little bit scared of what's gonna come up. You'll Miss Me When I'm Gone by Rachel Solomon Lynn. Okay, that's not too bad. I have been staring at that one for so long because it's been on my shelf for so long. I know exactly where it is. I've had it right at the front. I've had it literally right at the front this whole time. Okay, I think just from reading that first line on the back, I think I understand why I've probably picked this one up. Oh, okay. So from the sounds of it, I haven't told you about any of the others. Why am I trying to tell you about this one? Maybe it's because I'm just trying to justify why I picked this up. And actually, oh, I think this one's actually going to be really good. So it's about from what I can tell, it's about these two women, about these two 18-year-old twins. Both of them are quite ambitious. They both have different wants and desires and things they want to accomplish. But it sounds like there is a genetic predisposition, I hope that's the right terminology, to Huntington's, which could throw everything out of whack, basically. Yeah, okay. I'm glad this one came up, actually. Yeah, I'm really glad. I'm glad to hopefully finally be able to read it. The next one I'm going to do is Up the Ante, so we'll give them a little shuffle. Oh god, I'm actually scared of this one. I'm actually scared. Why am I doing all three? Okay, ready? Oh, I thought it was gonna go again. What's this? Oh. Read at least 5 stories by William Shakespeare. I did say that I wanted to like read the entire works of Shakespeare this year, so I guess that is a good thing. I like his stories. They're just so difficult to read because it's like, even though our language, I guess, derived from that English, it's so hard to read. But I do enjoy his stories when I am able to like get into flow and get my head wrapped around like his terminology and language and stuff. But it is just, I can do it. I mean, I do want to read the entire works of Shakespeare. But yeah, it's gonna take me a while to read them. That's the only thing. But yeah, that's our Up the Ante. And then we have Challenge Yourself, as if I'm not already. Okay, what's this one gonna have in store? I don't think, okay, we're just gonna see. Okay. What does it say? Because I can't read backwards. Read the highest rated book on your TBR. I can do that. Okay, so caveat, obviously if it's a sequel to a book that I haven't read, I ain't reading it because that'd be dumb. Okay, so it is a sequel. It is a sequel and it is to a book that I've read, but I actually want to reread the series of that book. So I'm going to go to the next one down because I want to read, it's like the final one, but I want to read all of it again. So yeah, we're going to go down to the next one. The one below that I actually really want to read is The Last Olympian by Percy Jackson? By Rick Riordan. Right? Yeah. But the one above that is actually Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. So I did actually end up getting Brandon Sanderson on this list anyway. Wait, that was Challengers? Oh, right. Yeah, read the highest rated book. Unless I read like the 3 highest rated books. Why would I do that? I want to try and read, yeah. I'm supposed to be trying to keep it low key at the moment. Why am I doing this to myself? But, oh, okay. What do I do? I mean, the obvious thing is just like keep it to what we have, like 5 freaking Shakespeare stories. Why? But they are quite short. They're just really hard and they're really long to get through because of the language barrier. If I was to do like 3 or 4, it would be Skyward, The Last Olympian, Concrete Rose, and Where the Crawdads Sing. It's a possibility because the Challenge Yourself one is supposed to be like video ideas, but there's no real video idea. I mean, reading the highest rated book on your TBR definitely is, but it's like, maybe I will just do the one. But if I'm feeling up to it, maybe I'll read 3 or 4 for that. So just to recap, we have The Handmaid's Tale, the behavioural cognitive therapy one, which is an audiobook. Then we have, which way is it going? Moxie. And then we have The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, A Study in Charlotte, You'll Miss Me When I'm Gone, and Skyward. That one, I've actually just, knowing the title and knowing what it's about is actually scaring me a little bit. Of course, we have our 5 Shakespeare stories and potentially a few others for the highest rated TBR, but we're going to see how we go. And in all of that, circling back to the beginning, I have to try and find within these books a slow burn romance, where a person is their own person outside of a relationship, so their relationship doesn't become like an all-consuming thing and they're still like their own person. Friends to lovers, rivals to friends to lovers, and a forbidden romance. That's what we have. I hope this all makes sense. It makes sense to me. I'm sure it does to you, but this is the first of the Beat the Book Trope TBR. It's out there. Well, it's gonna be if I edit the video and if I actually put it out there, it will be out there for April, which is crazy. But yeah, that is it for today. We have our books, we have our challenges, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing April, whether that is reading to your heart's content or whether that is doing some other thing that makes you happy, or even if it's doing nothing at all and just getting through the month. I hope you're good, and if you're not good, I hope that soon there will be a point where you are good. So that's all I have to say, that's all I have to pick. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!